Hi, it's Dale Elena here. I am doing another video as a bit of an update because I haven't done one for a few weeks. Not since I sort of got back from Marbella. I'm 3.5 weeks post-operative from facial feminization, and you can see that I'm still struggling to talk a bit. There's a bit of a crookedness to my lower lip especially. That's sort of the most noticeable thing that I have. Because there's still a lot of lack of sensation around my face. My jaw is looking much better now, and you probably can tell that the swelling has all gone down a fair bit. Like if you look at the edge here, you can see there's kind of a slight kind of lumpiness and jowliness. That's still swelling that's still going to reduce, so it should end up a bit more like that eventually. But the actual jaw shape is starting to appear now, which is really nice because it does look different and it makes me feel quite different, and the whole thing is starting to kind of come together in a much better way. The lack of sensation is still is not that great, and I think that could go on for a very long time. I'm very slowly feeling a little bit more in my lip each day, and I can move a bit more. I noticed my forehead today, I can feel a bit more sensation until I get to about here, and then I really can't feel it. And in fact, doing my brows is really weird because I can move the brush with my hand, and this hand can feel it, but my face can't feel it, so it's really odd. And I still have sutures, through my top of my head, which are sensitive. And I'm still not really like brushing my hair or anything like that because I think that would be really painful. So yeah, it's all on the whole, it's kind of sort of coming along, and I have to say the recovery has been, a doddle really. I'm quite an active person, so I didn't want to just kind of sit around and feel sick and kind of like, oh, I'm kind of bruised and blah 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 and swollen and I don't look right. So what I've been doing in that time, and especially it's been nice because it's been kind of quite a mild winter so far, is I've been doing lots and lots of walking. It's one of the few things I'm allowed to do as I recover, because they don't want you to do anything that's going to make you fall on your face, for example, so no like really active sports or anything like that. But they really encourage you to go and be active at the same time. So that's been great for me. I've been walking 10 Ks at a time, 15 Ks. Yesterday I did 25 kilometres along the Thames from Richmond and southwest London right into the city, and that's been really interesting, and I've really enjoyed also seeing bits of London that I hadn't seen before and connecting them together physically by walking, so that I can kind of open my own view of the town that I've been living in for over a decade now, and just link it together in little because I've skipped around a lot of London, I've seen lots of it, but actually connecting it together by walking from one place to another is really interesting, and that's really helping, I think, because I'm getting some exercise and I'm getting some blood flow going. I've got lovely cold air on my face because it's winter at the moment, so that's probably helping keeping swelling down and inflammation and things. But yeah, let me show you a little more. Someone did request to see a profile as well, and so I thought I should show you that. It's hard to show you before and after, but if I take my glasses off, you can kind of get an idea here that there's a lot less kind of brow here. Like this kind of goes whoop straight up here now, and it's really hard for you to tell, but where the eyebrows are, there were bigger ridges over the eyes there, and so that's really opened up my eyes quite considerably as well. So I'll try and put together like a before and after photograph from the side so you can see it. I have got another CT scan that I could show you that I may not do that today because I've just got some other stuff to do today, but there we go. So how am I feeling about the whole thing in general? I would say I'm really happy that I've done it. I think that the discomfort and inconvenience of it has been pretty mild, to be honest with you. The first week was tricky, and that's where you're really recovering and you're kind of bandaged up and you're very, very numb and you're kind of groggy and you can't do much, you just want to nap, and but after like 2 weeks, I physically started to feel very, very normal and was, getting out and about walking and things, and so now I'm starting to wear makeup again. I still keep my hair up all the time because I can't really brush it and straighten it and do the things I normally kind of need to do with my hair to make it how I'm comfortable, and I can't do laser, so there's a bit of regrowth of my facial hair coming back, which is a real pain in the ass. I don't like that at all. In fact, I'm really looking forward to being able to do my laser again, but I won't do that till I come back from a holiday which I'm about to go on in New Zealand, so there'll be some weeks before I can do that, so I'll just have to keep shaving and covering it up. But I have to say that I feel really good about it. I'm started to get very used to how I look now, and it feels good to me. I get complimented on it, which is really nice. And then that's the biggest thing, is how am I being perceived now, having had the facial feminization surgery. I'm definitely getting perceived in a more feminine manner. I'm getting people kind of responding to me in a way as a woman a hell of a lot more easily. And I think that is, while it's not necessary to have surgery to do that, because I think HRT itself and how you present and the cues you give other people are very much part and parcel of that. This particular thing is worth every penny for me, in far as what it's been able to do for me and maybe my confidence as how I present myself. I've been through a little bit of a patch because it's been winter and I haven't been feeling so well because of the surgery and thing. I've been a lot less femme in dressing and presentation than I would have been sort of when I first started transitioning, where I was like, give me dresses and give me skirts and I want to wear heels and things. And so I've really, I've kind of fallen back into an older style of clothing that I would have worn more as a guy, which would be jeans and t-shirts and things like that. And it's hard for me to know entirely whether that's just the fact that it's cold and I want to be more comfortable and getting out and about. But, you know, at the same time, I'm kind of always dressing everything up a little bit in a different way. And so maybe that's just part of the time of year. But also maybe there's a thing when you first transition, trying to be as feminine as possible, trying to push that idea out to people, that as you maybe do pass more natural with the face and HRT doing things to your body, maybe that just helps mean that you don't have to push the feminine presentation quite as hard to get by and be perceived as feminine, which is fine. So I think that maybe there's a natural thing that you go from being overtly femme to maybe slightly more non-binary or androgynous in some ways as you go on. I have to keep looking at that one and see how it goes over time. I know that as soon as I'm in hot weather, I'll be wanting to wear a nice floaty summer dress. So there you go. Because I like them. They're great. Okay, cool. So what else have I been thinking about lately? So I've had a lot of time to think, and I've been a little bit on my own too much over this kind of holiday period of Christmas and New Year's and my birthday, which was just a couple of days ago. And I've really got to do something about that. I think it's very easy when you're trans. I'd pushed people away from myself over many years to provide the space for myself to transition without disappointing others, which is a pretty dumb thing to have actually done, because it turned out that most people were actually cared about me, were more interested that I was happy, and therefore willing to support me, and interested in being part of that process too, as well. But the ramifications of that mean that I'm still very much a singular person, very much on my own most of the time. I work in an industry that doesn't really support proximate friendships, because you work with crew for short periods of intense time who will live in very different places. They don't live in the same areas or even the same city as you. So even though you make good friends, you don't really catch up with them so often because you don't live close to each other. It's not convenient. So that's a great combination of things to make a fairly solitary lifestyle. I've been thinking about that sort of thing a lot, and how it's quite easy when you're trans to fill the void of that with other trans people. Because worldwide on the internet there is a fantastic resource of people out there who also are really happy to talk to other trans people, share their experiences, and that's incredibly powerful, because when you're going through figuring out that you're trans earlier on, or just in a closet or whatever, you really feel like you're on your own. You feel like there's something wrong with you. You're the only person like this in the world. Maybe you're just broken or whatever. And then slowly you realize that other people have the similar feelings and sensibilities as yourself, and wishes and desires, and also need to transition, perhaps. And so when you get to talk to those people, they really do have an instant connection with you, and it's a really powerful thing. But there's a flip side to that, is that you end up with all your relationships being or your emotional support network being very much people online instead of people in the real world and in the real life. And that's kind of, in combination with my work and my having pushed people away for a long time, I kind of just have a large, rich online life. And I'm a bit sick of it at the moment, actually, to be honest with you, because trans Twitter, for example, can be quite volatile as well, and it seems to there are a lot of factions and opinions, and about who's what and what they should call themselves and things like that. And I'm very much a kind of live and let live person. We need to protect our rights as human beings, as trans people. That is not in question. But particularly things like call-out culture, I think has become like a mob justice, which I find very troubling. And although I've made some great friends online, and I will maintain those great friends online, I'm kind of pulling back away from Twitter and other social media in just a trans-centric way for a while, because I want to keep building the other relationships in my life, and next Christmas be spending it with people and having a nice time. Or I'll just go somewhere much more interesting than just hanging around at home in London, but we'll see. Chances are I'll be recovering from my GRS surgery around that time too, so I'll either have just be finished with that, or I'll just be getting going on recovery, so I might just be lying in bed for months at a time. So yeah, there we go. So those my latest thoughts anyway. So just a hopefully brief video this time. I've kind of slightly tweaked my camera rig. I don't know if you can really tell, but it doesn't shake as much now because I've actually attached it to the wall. So if I could, I can show you. I've got a little monitor underneath the lens now too, so it's probably it doesn't look quite so much that I'm not looking at the lens all the time, which I'm terrible at. I'm really looking forward to my lips not feeling like they do this all the time, because this is what it feels like when you're talking, even though it doesn't really look like that. I really can't feel anything through here, and I dribble quite often because when you have liquid on there, you're not aware of it running down your chin, so it runs down your chin. and through here I can't feel much either. I'm starting to feel the skin more, which means it's sort of easier to shave closer. Weirdly enough, it actually is easier when you can feel it. Otherwise it feels just kind of odd. But God, I'm sick of shaving. That's one thing if I could spend some money and just get the hair all gone, I would do that tomorrow. In fact, there is kind of a way to do that. There's an intensive electrolysis process in Antwerp, in Belgium, that they'll give you a pain pump that you have control over. It's an IV, and they will have 2 or 3 people doing electrolysis on you in sessions of an hour at a time for 3 or 4 days, and you're just going, ugh, I feel terrible, as they needle you, and that clears the entire face over those 3 or 4 days, and you stay there as well, and they give you meals and things like that. And then 2 or 3 months later you go back and do it again, and 2 or 3 months after that you go back and do it again, and then 3 sessions, that's meant to be it sorted. That sounds horrible, but also really appealing, and some time allowing and money allowing in the year, that could be something that I do, because to be honest, the thing that I'm most dysphoric about is facial hair. Because of the darkness here, the greyness that comes out, even, and lipstick doesn't feel right because there's this bluey black shape around my lips and things. And when I've just done laser, it's really great. It looks so much better. So, 2 or 3 more laser sessions might just get the same job done, because the grey hair doesn't really show up, and I just shave it, it's gone. But yeah, that's the worst thing. But there we go. What can I show you? There's hair up my nose because I can't really do anything about it at the moment, because it hurts. I wouldn't want to wax anything because I might just tear apart some sort of suture, scar that's trying to heal. So I kind of look at the worst in here right now, but you kind of can see that there's a little scar across here. That's the really good one. There's a scar right across here. It actually goes up the sides on both sides, and in the nose on both sides as well, because they've kind of gone like that to like shorten the nostrils, because I had quite flared nostrils, quite big nostrils before. I certainly can't stick my fingers up there anymore, which is probably for the best. So better habits all around. But yeah, it's quite good, the work they've done. I can't quite see. Should I get creepy? I'll have a look in the mirror if it looks weird. Oh yeah, you can see a suture. You can see there's kind of white suture there. That's a dissolvable suture that's in the incision in my front of my mouth, and there's another one here, another one here. They're kind of there, and they're a little bit, that one's a little painful at times, but eventually they will just vanish on their own. So there's a point where I just won't be able to feel it with my tongue anymore, and that'll be done. I have mouthwash that I have to use every time I eat, and that kind of helps not dissolve it, but just keep that clean. And that's been funny enough, I've been brushing my teeth more than I've probably ever have in my entire life, and I quite like it now. I'm a bit hooked on making sure my teeth are clean after each meal, so I might just keep that going if I can. Again, surgery promoting good habits. So that's kind of where things are currently. I don't know if I can show you the other bit. I haven't really seen it myself because I don't really photograph this or anything, but there's incision right across here. I don't know if you can see that, but there you go. It's that's something I'm looking forward to being able to feel this a bit more, but really looking forward to just being able to do my hair a bit better, and that's more me when my hair's down too. It's quite easy done up though. It's not bad having a ponytail. I quite like it. Flaps around. Cool. Okay, that'll do. I've kind of rabbited on as normal. Wouldn't be one of my videos without me going on way too long and just kind of rambling off my notes. But there we go. I hope you've had a great Christmas and New Year's, and I'm off to Paris in the morning to see a friend, which is going to be nice because I just really needed to go and be somewhere else for a moment. And so just going to have a nice dinner and hang around and wander around the shops and things like that, and just do some window shopping, and then I'm back for the rest of the week. I see my psychologist during the week, which is every few months I have an update with her and a consultation, and she logs the progression that I'm making so that I can use that as a timeline to take to the New Zealand court to change my gender marker across on my birth certificate, which will make my legal standing as female be ripple through to my other documents and things. My passport has already been changed, my New Zealand one. I need to update my Irish one now, and now I have a male and a female passport because I have two. That's a little weird. So it'll be fun for the customs officers that I present both of those passports to. One of them will look like me and the other one will not, but it'll be the correct one legally at the moment. There we go. These things are a process. It all takes some time, and it's getting there, day by day. And by the end of this coming year, I will have updated all my legal documents, my birth certificate in New Zealand and Ireland and the UK, and I will have had GRS by that time. So next Christmas I'm hoping to go swimming and get on with my life, and outside of being trans, and some hopes, although I will always be trans because my experience of my entire life has been trans. So in one form or another. So there you go. Right, time to go. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.